6 doorways through time. From a quiet backstreet chapel to the colossal heart of Christendom, this is Rome's faith written in stone, gold, and glass. We'll start small and grow to the vast. 6 stops, 6 survivors of centuries, each one a chapter in how belief became architecture. First, Santa Pudenziana. From the street, it's modest. Step inside and the apse hits you like thunder. Christ sits enthroned, flanked by the apostles, a jeweled sky behind him. Art historians often consider this the earliest surviving apse mosaic in a Roman church, crafted around the turn from the 4th to the 5th century. The faces are solemn. The cityscape behind them echoes ancient Rome. It's Christianity speaking the visual language of empire, authority, permanence, order. Watch how the gold tesserae catch the light. In an era when the city reeled from upheaval, this image reads like a pledge. The story endures. Second, Santa Costanza. We trade the basilica plan for a perfect circle. This rotunda began as a 4th century mausoleum for Constantina, daughter of Constantine the Great. Later it became a church. Walk the ring-shaped ambulatory and lift your eyes. The vault blooms with vine scrolls and harvest scenes. Grapes, baskets, little figures treading wine. Classical motifs given Christian meaning. The air has a soft echo. Light slips in from the side. Everything pulls you inward. This is memory architecture, a space made for circling, for reverence, for the long attention of prayer. It stands at a crossroads where pagan imagery meets a new spiritual language. Third, Santa Sabina on the Aventine Hill. Here, the early Christian basilica survives almost intact. A bright nave, 2 calm aisles, a measured rhythm of columns, daylight filtering through thin panes of translucent stone, selenite rather than modern glass. The room feels open, legible, nearly modern in its restraint. At the entrance hang cypress wood doors from the same era. Among their carved panels is what scholars widely regard as the earliest extant public depiction of the crucifixion, Christ between the 2 thieves, rendered with spare power. It's as much declaration as image. In Santa Sabina, the basilica form, born in imperial audience halls, becomes a template for worship that will echo for centuries. If you're enjoying this journey so far, kindly like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more deep dive stories like this. Fourth, Santa Maria Maggiore on the Esquiline Hill. The scale grows, and so does the ambition. Step into the nave and you stand inside one of the most important surviving programs of early Christian mosaics. Along the walls, Old Testament scenes unfold in glittering glass. The triumphal arch proclaims Christ and the Virgin in a blaze of color. This is 5th century visual theology from the age of Pope Sixtus III, in the wake of the Council of Ephesus that affirmed Mary as Mother of God. Look up and the centuries stack above you. The coffered wooden ceiling, added in the Renaissance, is gilded, according to long-standing tradition, with the first gold brought from the Americas. Underfoot, medieval cosmotesque patterns tessellate the floor in marble geometry. It's less a single moment than a timeline of Rome, layered into one interior. Fifth, San Paolo fuori le mura, St. Paul outside the walls. We cross beyond the ancient city limits to a basilica raised over the burial place of the Apostle Paul. Founded in the 4th century and enlarged in the age of Theodosius and Honorius, it once rivaled Old St. Peter's. Then, catastrophe. A devastating fire in the 19th century destroyed most of the church in a single night. What stands today is a faithful reconstruction built around surviving cores and carefully measured to match ancient dimensions. Inside, the nave seems to breathe. Repeating bays march in serene rhythm, polished columns catch and carry the light. Above, a chain of papal portraits runs like a timeline from the earliest successors of Peter toward the present day. Step into the cloister and the mood softens. Twisted marble columns, inlaid with glittering stones, spiral under the open sky. A 13th century masterwork by the Vasiletto family of Cosmati craftsmen. It's a jewel box of pattern and proportion, a quiet counterpoint to the basilica's monumental calm. Sixth, the largest in our journey, St. Peter's Basilica. This is more than a church. It's a statement in stone. Beneath the high altar lies the site venerated as the tomb of the Apostle Peter, reached through the ancient necropolis that threads under the floor. The present basilica rose in the Renaissance over Constantine's 4th century church, keeping an unbroken line from early Christian Rome to the High Baroque and beyond. Look up. Michelangelo shaped the colossal dome to the drum. Giacomo della Porta carried it to completion near the close of the 16th century, and it has defined Rome's skyline ever since. At the crossing stands Bernini's bronze baldachin, a torrent of twisted columns and winged details rising like a sculpted flame. It binds tomb, altar, and dome into a single axis of meaning, Baroque theater with a theological purpose. Recently, ahead of the Jubilee year, the baldachin underwent a comprehensive restoration, revealing details that glow anew. People often call St. Peter's the largest church in the world by interior measure. Stand beneath that canopy and you feel what largest means. Not only breadth, but presence, scale matched to the story it tells. Name after name, Bramante, Michelangelo, Maderno, Bernini, each left a chapter. The church was consecrated in the early 17th century, and every age since has left a trace. Why trace these six, from the quiet to the colossal? Because together they show how ideas become spaces. Santa Pudenziana captures a new faith adopting the language of empire. Santa Costanza reveals a conversation between classical forms and Christian meaning. Santa Sabina preserves the basilica at its purest, where restraint becomes radiant. Santa Maria Maggiore teaches doctrine in color and light. St. Paul, outside the walls, reminds us that Rome's churches are living things, capable of loss and renewal. And St. Peter's gathers all of it into one breathtaking interior. Early Christian memory, Renaissance vision, Baroque drama, stacked upon the bones of an apostle. If this journey moved you, like, share, and subscribe. Tell us which church you'd visit first and what you want us to uncover next. Rome is a library written in stone, and this was just the opening chapter.